Like favoriting you. Would you say that that's true? And does it feel like that in your actual life?
I feel like a lot of people want me to fight someone ranked, and that's the plan, man. I've never, like, I picked that last fight when someone pulled out. They sent me a list of a couple people, and I picked the hardest dude on there. But then he said he couldn't make weight. So I don't know what. It's hard to say. Next fight, a lot of people want me to fight someone ranked. They wanted me to fight someone ranked last fight. I was supposed to fight Luis Smolka. For me, I have a contract to fight a certain amount of fights, and I'm going to get paid a certain amount of money, whether I fight Luis Smolka, the dude I was supposed to fight, or I fight Peter Yan, the #1 bantamweight in the UFC. I get paid the same. I'm going to fight this dude. And I'm going to fight this dude on a Conor McGregor pay-per-view.
Because you just keep getting better, too.
I just keep getting better. I'm going to keep improving. Chael Sonnen always says it, fight the worst dude on the highest part of the card. A lot of bantamweights and just people in the UFC, they definitely hate, and it comes from jealousy. Like, I'm getting way more eyeballs than them for whatever. I'm performing there, dude. You go and watch some of these guys perform. You literally pick up your phone and start surfing. You're just not. You don't give a fuck what they're doing. I'm fighting. You're fucking. I had Beebs standing up in the fucking like, I watch my fight back all the time. It was sweet to see at the end of my fight, like the last 30 seconds, Bieber was standing up watching. Right. I'm like, that's fucking entertainment. That's what I do. That's why I get paid what I get paid. That's why I'm on in this position. Right. It ultimately comes down to my performances, but
the branding shit matters too, because like you kind of feel for some of the dudes who are like Brazilian or whatever, where it's just going to be so much harder for them to really like form a bond with the audience because they don't speak English that well or whatever, you know. And some fighters just aren't really as spectacular, you know. And
they don't care to be. Some fighters don't care. They literally just want to fucking fight. They just want to train, fight. They don't really give a fuck about interviews. But I mean, that you're not going to get paid. You're not going to make as much. You're not going to be able to sell merch. You're not going to be able to, you're not going to be able to stream on Twitch and have people that give a fuck about what you're doing outside the UFC or even in the UFC. There's plenty of people in the UFC that no one really gives a fuck about. So, but for me, before I even got into the UFC, I wanted to be an entertainer.
Yeah.
So I'll eat it all up.
It's interesting when you say that the UFC's 51% of entertainment company and 49% like an athletic organization, because I've always respected that so much about Dana, that there's been like so many like easy routes that he could have took towards like making huge fights happen in the UFC over the years. And yeah, there's definitely been people that he sort of like I'm talking about Brock Lesnar, they fast tracks into a position to get a title fight and shit. But for the most part, I feel like they exercise like pretty amazing discretion at treating the fights like a serious thing and not, you know, wanting to just put like some fucking monster against some pussy ass dude so he's just going to get the crazy knockout or whatever like the easy route would be. It feels like they more often than not don't take that.
I agree. No, I agree. I think they make good fucking fights. Dana's a smart motherfucker, and they know exactly what they're doing. They have their matchmakers, Sean Shelby, Mick Maynard. Like, the UFC's obviously knows what the fuck they're doing. They're $1 billion company.
But then it's super fascinating to see the rise of like YouTube boxing, where it's the total opposite dynamic of let's put together some fights that are going to get a shitload of eyeballs, and who gives a fuck about like who's the best or treating it like something that needs to have integrity. They're kind of showing that like the total opposite approach is also viable.
Yeah, 100%. There's less fights you can make that route though, because were you invested in the Jake Paul Ben Askren?
The most frustrating part is I truly thought I won. The fight went all 5 rounds. It really could have gone either way, I guess. Luckily, I'm okay though. Obviously, my cheek is a little bit swollen. Everything else is fine. My hands were really bruised after the fight. They're still really swollen, but they're not broken or anything, and they feel fine. They're just a little sore. Yeah, I'm bummed out. I mean, yeah, bummed out to say the least. Everyone expects me to lose, and everyone expects me to fail. I don't know, I just feel like people have a specific perception of who I am, and especially like online. It's crazy how much people can hate on a single person. I just don't get it. And I truly I pride myself with being a good person, and I think that's the most important thing for me is, you know, I never talk bad about my opponents. I never say a single negative thing about their character, and you never know what somebody's going through, and you never know what someone's on the verge of. When I walked out of the ring, I didn't just walk to my locker room. I literally walked all the way outside, and I just went and cried in the parking lot by myself. And yeah, I said some things to my husband that are pretty terrible, and just about my mental state. I told him I didn't want to live anymore, and that it wasn't this wasn't for me anymore, but that life wasn't for me anymore. So I was disappointed. It was hard.